Respected Chair, invited speakers, august audience, and the organizers. Greetings to all. I am thankful to Dr. Prabhakar Singh for giving me an opportunity to address you all. I have varied interest of Vice Chancellor of two universities, one at Indore and another at Gujarat UP. We love to live in the past glory of Takshashila and Nalanda, but present state of Indian education is in doldrums. A revolution is the need of the hour, and Dr. Prabhakar Singh and his team is doing a human service by taking the beacon ahead. I wish this venture a great success. My talk is based on few quotes. President of Cambridge University addressed its centenary celebrations in a short speech. We are celebrating 100 years and produced 100 Nobel laureates ahead of Harvard. Thank you. It speaks volumes of his outcome and social contributions. Mutual recognitions should attract dedicated contributors as students, faculties, researchers, and facilitators, and the institution should be able to sustain and retain. It should turn out to be a repository of patents. A nation cannot acquire competitive strength and international reputation without developing a world-class educational institutions within its boundaries. World-class universities are a crucial part of a nation's knowledge base and innovative capacity, creating the knowledge and scientific breakthrough for research, innovational developments to gain long-term economic growth. How can we achieve this? Learn to sell our good practices in international market and attract more foreign faculties, students, and soft skills. We should organize international mobility of researchers, faculties, and students, which is an essential activity for yielding benefits like flow of research and development information, updating emerging trends, technical collaborations, and job creations, and to face global challenges collectively. It helps to form a high-tech innovation cluster of solutions to resolve ever-demanding social needs. India will be recognized as the international leader with a better human capital since India has the maximum youth potential in the present scenario. It will yield enhanced business, international funding, and attract reputed talents. India will reverse our defense products dependability and become a world supplier. Education sector is very peculiar in nature and should not be viewed as a money-making industry or should avoid corporate culture. Education industry produces intangible products and processes which cannot be measured directly. The students are the raw material, finished product, consumers, partners, and brand ambassadors. The higher education policy is very sensitive issue, tightly coupled with variety of legal, economic, social, bureaucratic, and political issues. Visible changes or direct result in education culture surface out after a few decades. Freedom and autonomy are very essential need of cultural challenge. But it requires close monitoring and regulations, else money makers misuse it. Arise and stop, not till the goal is reached. A slogan and a quote of Katha Upanishad, which was popularized in the late 19th century by Swami Vivekananda. Our expectation is limited to Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, IITs, and few private deemed universities. All other institutions and universities will not have good leadership if the selection procedure remains corrupt or financially or politically involved. So we should pledge as a socially committed citizens of India should not look up at the government to do something. We should be happy to do something to the government. Move around to all government high schools in and around you. Deliver lecture on setting up goals in life of your young children and how to move towards it. What all preparations required. Emphasize in mutual help, which is the best help for personal growth. It is not widely believed that our higher education cannot rely on own traditional reforms. It requires to engage critically with the global trends and debates about strategies for reform. It is the need of the hour to establish international partnership, student and faculty exchange, and shared programs for dual degrees for global exposures. It pertinent to mention Nelson Mandela's view on education that if you want to spoil the nation, then impart ill education. Education is the most powerful weapon which can use to change the world. The entrance of the University of South Africa is the quotation is very relevant to all nations. Destroying any nation does not require the use of atomic bomb or use of long-range missiles. It only requires lowering the quality of education and allowing cheating in the examination by the students. The patients will die in the hands of doctors. Building will collapse in the hands of such engineers. Money is lost in the hands of such economists. And humanity dies in the hands of such religious scholars. Justice is lost in the hands of such judges. And collapse of the education is the collapse of nation. Knowledge collaboration is achieved through either showcasing the modern or innovative means, methods and outcome or products. It is equally important to carry out promotional activities. Soft power is a good concept which is properly understood as the ability to influence others and achieve national self-interest through attraction and persuasion. International higher education has been drawn to its new concept of soft power. A number of references to it can be witnessed in conferences, academic journals, blogs and medias and articles, etc. It has become a fundamental premise of today's international education engagement. Some treat it as a modern branding campaign using culture and media to win over the foreign publics, especially students. Attraction and persuasion is the best way to build trust because trust can pay dividends in terms of economic and geopolitical benefits. In short, the role and use of soft power is interpreted by myriad of ways. But common motivations to achieve self-interest for educational promotions, after all, the basic notion of power is about gaining some kind of dominance, whether it be by soft, hard, or smart means. The spread and layout of the higher education is characterized by international collaborative research projects, binational universities, multinational policy networks, the global mobility programs, regional centers of excellence, and international educational hubs. The important is that in the highly interconnected and interdependent world in which we live, higher education is a channel for a cross-border flow and exchange of people, knowledge, expertise, values, innovation, economy, technology, and culture. The world of international relation is complex and beset with histories, challenges, and inequalities that it should never to ignore. A challenge that we in higher education face is whether we buy into the idea of soft power or introduce alternative approach, need the nation of mutual power. This concept recognizes that power need to be a zero-sum game. The mutual power approach builds on respective strength of countries, higher education and research institutions, and yield solution and benefits to all players. A key point is that the benefits will differ among actors. It is based on reality and new normal that finding solutions to world challenges that cannot be achieved by all country alone. An alternative to power paradigm, whether it be soft or mutual power, is the concept of diplomacy, which regards negotiation as one of its core pillars. Finally, you have to dream before your dream comes true. The dream is not that which you see while sleeping. It is that does not let you sleep, was the quote of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Define the global faculties who could inspire young minds, broad-minded, socially conscious, research-centered, and open to new ideas and ever-learning attitude can revolutionize our higher education system and thus our universities. Higher education's long traditions of scholarly collaborations and academic mobility complemented by today's innovation of research and policy networks. International educational hubs, joint programs, institutions, and global and binational universities have a lot to contribute to building, strengthening international relations among countries and the region. Jai Hind.